Sometimes it's unmotivating when you don't always, reap the reward of your work. But I think it's believing in yourself, bro. It's believing in your ability. And for me, it's about the process, not the outcome. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's like I'm on an everyday progression. The outcome could change, right? Like I could play well, or I could play like
yeah.
And I could say to myself, damn, did I still do the things that I do on my daily?
Yeah.
That I have my habits that are required every day for me to go up and perform. And if I did that consistently every day, then I can't be mad with the outcome, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't get moved by the outcome. If I score 30, I'm still in the gym the next day. If I don't play, I'm still in the gym the next day. So none of that stuff changes, how I work. If I have 30, I'm still gonna shoot the same amount of shots the next day when I go to practice.
Yes.
It don't matter. So that's what it is for me, and that's how you grow. No matter what, through the ups and downs.
Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. They call me Q the Boss. Oh, I got a special guest. Listen. This is meaningful to me because I watched this great young king grow up and become the great young king he is today. NBA player, Seton Hall representative, Baldwin native, Jared Rhoden, my guy.
I appreciate you having me, Q.
Now we gotta give you the applause, brother.
Thank
you gotta give me some applause. Jared, so let's start at the beginning, man. What inspired you to get to this NBA hoop dream?
Honestly, man, it started with my pops, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, my pops put the ball in my hand from the moment I came home from the hospital. Like, put a bunch of sports in my crib, gave me a little football, baseball, basketball. But basketball was always his favorite. He grew up a big fan, Big East guy watching, battles with St. John's and all that. And he used to be a New York Knicks fan, and, he grew up in New York, so that's really what it was for me. And, I just had a bunch of people that, pulled me up from when I was young that allowed me to see ahead, whether it was uncles, coaches, mentors. It's a bunch of people that allowed me to get involved in the game, and, I'm grateful for that.
Wow. Let's give it up for everybody that played a major part. Everyone has to understand that someone always plays a major part in the development of anybody becoming great. There's always people along your journey, But I gotta ask now, so now you realize that ball was your thing.
Yeah.
Right? What kept you going outside of just him putting the ball in your... What made you want to keep doing it now?
I think it was, self-satisfaction when I was young. It was like believing that I could do something and achieve something. And at the time, it was basketball, and that was my main focus of like, let me see how far I could go. And I think the thing for me was, I would knock down one door. Next thing you know, I'm knocking down another door. And the thing about when you knock down doors is that you don't really know what that next door is going to look like.
Yes.
But I just love the unexpected. I love the fact that I didn't know what to expect when I got to that next point. So I started becoming addicted to that, of just like loving the fact that the unknown was where I was living. And every step, I just kept taking steps and steps and steps, and I fell in love with it. And I'm like, man, like I could just keep going and doing this and putting in the work. And the next thing you know, I landed up in the NBA, and that's where it all ended up.
Wow. So in high school, what made you say, what was a moment when you realized you could play college ball?
I think it was the support from my community. It was, coaches, it was my friends, it was the people that saw it in me before I even saw it in myself fully.
Yes.
And, that's really what it was, is other people were always constantly picking me up throughout my journey. So in high school, it was, my friends telling me, like, yo, you really nice, bro. Like, you could do this. It was my coaches telling me, yo, come train extra in this gym with me. And I think that for me, like, just having those people, like I keep saying, that, invested in me, and believed in me before I could even see it for myself, was what allowed me to transcend into who I became.
I remember one summer, the name, I already knew you, but the name was like Jared Rhoden. Then I started hearing Jared Rhoden.
Yeah.
Then I started hearing Jared Rhoden. It got louder and louder, and to the point where no one could deny it. And I'm like, yo, this guy is really, really good, bro. And I remember you played with one of my guys, Shane.
Yeah.
You know, you and Shane. Oh my God. I was like, that's a crazy duo, bro. That's a crazy duo.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's crazy you mentioning Shane. Like, I just seen Shane last week. You know, had a good time with him. Got to catch up and stuff. But, you know, like, at the time, like, that was who, you know, we were inspiring each other.
Yes.
And that was a great moment for me, just to see somebody else that loved the game as much as I did, and, you know, giving each other that life to push each other and believe in each other. And, you know, it was like a love, a competitive like love that we had within each other, which was cool.
I love that. So then you get to the college now.
Right.
What made you choose Seton Hall?
I think for me, you know, being from New York, Seton Hall was close to home.
Yeah.
It resembled a lot of the qualities and stuff that I had, that I grew up around, whether it was like that tough, gritty vibe you get in Newark.
Yeah.
And just it just felt like home, honestly. You know, Coach Shah at the time was recruiting me, Shaheen Holloway, who's a big New York City
Yes, he is.
basketball legend.
One of them guys.
So yeah, I think it was, honestly, for me, I'm a big family guy. I was close to home. And it was just the epitome of what I wanted to be when I played basketball. And it worked out to be the best decision I made in my life.
So how many years of college ball you played?
I played 4 years, all at the same school, which, you know, is rare nowadays.
Yes, of course it is. Yeah. That's why I wanted to acknowledge that, because I knew that, but I wanted them to hear, like, he really went all the way through. And you saw the development every year?
Yeah, that was the thing. So, like, when I was coming in, I didn't really know what to expect, right? I had a shoulder surgery coming into my freshman year of college.
Yes.
I'm battling the whole offseason trying to get back in rehab. I averaged 3 points my freshman year. And just every year, like you said, it was just getting better. I broke down the next wall. Sophomore year, I averaged 9 points. Then junior year, I averaged 14 points. Then my senior year, I averaged 16 points. So it was just like, for me, I was just trying to take steps every time of the way. And just showing that, like, showing myself, showing the people around me that, you know, that I'm growing, that's what it's all about, is that even if you don't see it all in 1 year or 1 day, that when you look over the course of time and you look back, like, what was his journey like after those 4 years? Oh man, he got better. He became a better person, but better basketball player.
Would you agree with this statement? If you can average 15 in college, that is equivalent to like an NBA player averaging about 25, 30. Because based on minutes, based on shots, you know, because I see a lot of college players that they don't get as much shots as NBA players.
Yeah, I think so. I think definitely. You know, college players are kind of put in a system where they're not allowed to shoot as much.
Yes.
You know, they got to move the ball, play within, you know, what the coach is trying to have them play in.
Yeah.
And I think also, too, it's just the game is slower in college. You know, the shot clock is 30 as opposed to the NBA is 24. So you automatically just got less possessions.
Yes.
So definitely, I think someone who's averaging 15, 20 in college, you know, most definitely could. That's the equivalent of 25, 30 for sure.
And make sure we acknowledge that. I ain't saying because you average 15 in college, you can go to the A and average 25, 30. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when a person, equivalent-wise, as far as time, as far as how fast shots go up, and more so a lot of threes are being shot up nowadays too. So my question is, who would you say, as far as an athlete and a player that you grew up watching, who inspired you?
Wow, man, it's a lot of different athletes. I say for me, I was a big Kobe guy.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant, man. Just watching like the whole Mamba mentality, you know, when I was coming up, obviously that's when he started up the whole thing with the Mamba mentality, when he changed over to 24. And just seeing how he approached the game, how he was resilient, how, you know, he put his heart and his pain into the game. And I feel like, in my opinion, there's nobody like that, man, that put that raw energy into who he was and empowered everybody along with it.
Wow, Kobe. You got a moment of silence for Kobe, man. Like, wow. The Mamba. You know, it's weird because, like, with that mentality, I take that mentality to everything I do. You know, whether parenting, whether being a friend, whether being a businessman, everything is Mamba mentality, right? So who would you say is the GOAT?
the greatest of all time is LeBron James.
Oh, I was about to say.
There's no doubt about that.
And why do you say that?
For me, it's not just about basketball, right?
Yeah.
So for me, LeBron is he's just the most versatile in all assets of life. Like he's a businessman, he is a father, he is obviously a phenomenal basketball player.
Yes.
But the way that he's able to block all those things out and still go out there and perform, being 18 with that type of burden on your back when you got people hunting you and you #1 Sports Illustrated, and the fact that he's still playing right now to this day, despite all that he went through, man, it's just amazing to see. It's really unreal. Like, especially growing up watching him, I come in the NBA, he's still in the NBA. Like, it's just a wild thing to experience.
Wow. Now, LeBron is my go-to. I love LeBron James. And for the reasons you said, that's why I love him. I think he's an amazing man, and he can create or use everything as an excuse to not be so great.
Right.
But yet and still he don't. You know, he used that to be actually a motivating factor for him to be great, right? But I'm going to ask this next question. So, like, as an athlete, what moment you would say getting to the NBA was like, I want to use the term, like you got like a little overwhelmed, like, wow, like this person is here, like a star shot.
Yeah. I think for me, it was my rookie year. I'm in training camp with the Portland Trail Blazers, and I started to develop a real cool relationship with Damian Lillard.
Wow.
And I just saw somebody that was just so down to earth, just so real and raw, and just who he was and how he approached his life and his relationships and the interactions that he had with people, and how for him it was bigger than basketball. Like he saw me as he could just look at me as like this rookie or whatever, like whoever I was at the time, and he talked to me like I was one of his main friends that he had for 10 years.
Wow.
Like just someone who poured into me. He picked me up. He texted me when I was at home and making sure I reached out to me when I had some problems. And just somebody that, you know, I was just like, man, someone of that stature, someone who's accomplished that much in their life, who has so much other stuff going on, just saw me as a young kid and was like, man, I'm gonna help this kid out as much as I can. And for me, that was a moment of real where I was like, man, this NBA thing is real cool, and it's as real as I thought it was. So that was cool.
Wow. I'm a fan of Damian Lillard myself. I think he's one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game.
Definitely.
You know, and especially coming from such a smaller school, you know, to put his name on the map the way he did.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know? So my next question is, what was your night on the court now where you was like, yo, I could really hoop with these guys, bro. I could do this. You know?
It's crazy. Honestly, it's been a crazy journey, just like battling the ups and downs. But this past year, man, I had a little stretch of games where, you know, I was popping out 20 points a couple times in a row, and I was just catching a real good rhythm, man. And honestly, the game started to slow down for me, and it started to feel easy. And as crazy as it sounds, it took 3 years for me to get to that point. And when I finally got to that point, it was just like you catch a rhythm. You start just feeling more confident with everything that you do, whether it's like how you interact off the court, how you carry yourself, and all those things play a factor into how you perform. And I was thankful enough to be a part of a great organization this past year with the Toronto Raptors, who've won an NBA championship, know what it takes to have that culture. And I think for me, like, they instilled that back into me and allowed me to go out there and perform, to be who I was. And yeah, bro, just finding my footing, man, felt really great. Because I know a lot of dudes that come in and out of the league and don't even get that chance to find that consistency of like, all right, I have a good stretch of games, or I'm playing well, or, you know, get that next contract. So I think for me, man, I just been fortunate enough to get the opportunity to go out there and produce. And like you said, like, this year for me was what it was where I had that moment of like, yeah, I could do this. Like, it's light. Like, I've been doing this my whole life.
What would you say right now is a myth that you thought about the NBA before you got actually put in the NBA? What did you think about it, to now you see this is not true? And then give me something that is true that you thought about it.
Something that I thought about it. I think for me, something I thought about that I used to think of like I wonder how the interactions were like off the court. Just like the traveling, you know, obviously as a young kid, you just always like the partying, the girls, like what is all that stuff like, right? Like how do they battle all that and still go out there and play? So I think for me, it was like when I got to that moment when I realized how these dudes are able to compartmentalize their lives. And they're able to say, okay, you know, I'm over here, I might have a meeting, photo shoot, I might go out tomorrow night, but I still gotta show up and be who I am. So I think for me, like, just to see them like truthfully be able to battle all those different things was something that, like, when I finally saw it was like, oh wow, this is how they go through it. This is how they get through it. So yeah, it's a learning road. It's a learning process in terms of that. I'm sorry, what was your next part? You said something that
I like something that you see that is actually true too.
Something I see is actually true too.
You wondered about how they were off the court and how they can deal with the off the court. And what do you see like, wow, this is actually true about the NBA?
I think how hard it is, bro.
Yeah.
I think, like, you know, from a regular standard person watching the game, you watching it and you see like, damn, that must be tough. Like, he dunked that. But even for me, like, when I got in, I'm like, you know, everywhere you come from, you the best player.
Yes.
And then you get around these other guys, and these dudes is different. Like, you get around, you know, LeBron or Joel Embiid and people who operate at high levels. Them dudes are just real different. So that was just like a moment of reflection to say, like wow, like it's levels to no matter where you get to. Like, no matter how high you think you are, there's always somebody that's better than you. And no matter where you think you are, there's always somebody beneath you. So that was the moment of perspective that I got in that, for sure.
Wow. So would you say right now, who would you say, as far as your teammates that you had along your NBA journey, who had the highest work ethic that you see? That's why who works hard, you know?
Yeah, I mentioned his name before, but Damian Lillard.
Wow.
Yeah, hardest working dude I ever met, man. I'm talking about, like, we would have workouts at 10 a.m. He would be waking up in the morning from 5. He would be boxing, have a whole boxing session for about an hour or two. Then he would go get some road work in and run. Then he coming back to the gym. He's shooting before the workout even start, getting up hundreds of shots. Yeah, like, that was crazy to see that, like, up close. Just a relentless worker, bro. Someone who just, you know, no matter what, he was working.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
It's crazy.
But it's amazing that he says Damian Lillard, because I think one thing I've learned now and I understand about sports is the importance of veterans and having mentorship. You know, all through life, I think mentorship is a very prominent factor for anyone's development. Yeah. Would you say that's very prominent for an NBA player or a professional?
Absolutely. One thing I learned too along the journey is that a lot of NBA is built on connections, like the rest of the world, obviously.
Yes.
And that's something that's vital for people to make it to that point. It's just making sure you're in the right rooms, making sure you have the right, contact list. Like, it's as crazy as it sounds, is I've seen some people that are so talented, but they just don't know the right people to get themselves in the right position to show that they're talented. And just that in itself, like, your network, who you continue to develop those relationships with. And yeah, like, I know people that have had opportunities because they know this president or this GM or their family member is, you know, played in the NBA and they were able to train with NBA players for such a long time. And, you know, that's really what it is. So many, now you're seeing now as time is going, NBA players' sons that are starting to come and take over the league and play well. And so it's really just it's a small circle, but once you get in the circle, you got to learn how to continue on and develop those relationships.
As a player in the NBA, what player would you say that you respect extremely that's not well known? Or that's not, let's just say, a household name? Because to fans of the NBA, we know everybody.
Right.
We study all the players. We know where they come from. We know.
Yeah.
But to someone that's not a household name yet, who would you say he's like that? And he definitely gonna make some noise.
That's a great question.
I know Jared Rhoden, of course.
Right. I got two names that come to my mind.
Okay.
But y'all probably know them, but I still think that there's so much more left for them. I say like Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah.
People don't know how good that dude really is. Like I'm talking about, he's probably one of the top 35 players in the NBA.
Seriously?
And most people don't know that.
Wow.
Like, if you hear stories about the Celtics, they literally play a drill where everybody has to play one-on-one against Peyton Pritchard. Like, that's their drill for the day. It's like, we're playing against one-on-one against Peyton Pritchard to get better.
Wow.
So he seems like just a little short boy that just like, all right, he's gonna be able to shoot threes or, come in the game. But nah, he's by far one of the most talented players. And he's a hard worker, like probably one of the hardest working players in the NBA. And the other name I got is Cam Thomas, someone who's just naturally gifted. Obviously, he's playing for Brooklyn right now, but just someone who I could just see, like, you look up, he could be averaging 35 one day, and you like, dang, where he come from?
Wow.
Easily, he could average 35 in the league one day.
Let's play a game. I'm gonna ask you a question. If you see future Hall of Famer, yay, nay, I'll give you maybe.
All right, bet.
I'll give you maybe. But don't keep saying maybes, though.
Right.
We're gonna start with the easy one, Anthony Edwards.
Definitely.
Okay, let's go Chet Holmgren.
Definitely.
Shea.
Absolutely. He already is.
Yeah.
Yeah. After this year, he is.
James Harden.
Definitely.
Drew Holiday.
Definitely.
Give me somebody who's we got. Give me we got? Give me I want to see somebody a little more. We got to get some no's too, right?
Somewhere in the borderline.
Someone, Lonzo Ball,
Nah.
LaMelo Ball.
Nah.
Yeah.
I played with LaMelo, one of my good friends too, but Melo, you got work to do.
What about Brandon Miller?
Maybe.
Who do you think? The other day we was having a conversation. I feel like he plays a little bit like Kobe.
He does. He's like the newer version of Kobe, like the Gen Z Kobe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's tough though, man. Like, I got a chance to play with B Mill too this past year. He's just one of those players too, just like naturally gifted. Like you could tell he just like lives and breathes basketball. It just comes easy to him. But yeah, he'll be like on that Paul George trajectory, I think, by the time you look up next couple years.
Paul George.
You know what? Like, I'm so mad that people have been phasing Paul George out.
I hate it too.
Because it's like, bro, he is one of the best basketball players to ever play the game. And they don't treat him like it. And I just think that's such a disservice to what, like, as a fan that watches him, and that's a work of art. When you watch him play, it's musical, it's different. And I think sometimes when people talk about Hall of Fame, it's just so much very statistical or accolade-based. Sometimes it's just eye tests, like, like, how good are you? When I'm watching you, how do you look? Like, how are you moving? Like, you know what I mean? And someone like Kyrie Irving, like, statistically and accolade-wise, he could be borderline. But just off the eye test and the respect that he gets from other people, it's a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I started to understand and learn too. Is as a kid, I grew up just on, 6 rings and stats, 30. He averaged 30. But it was, for me, it started to be more about the respect, the eye test, and what I see and what I hear, as opposed to just what they tell you.
So my next question is, do you see Cooper? What do you think Cooper Flagg's ceiling is? Someone said Andrew Karolinko.
Yeah. Nah, definitely not that low.
I don't think so either.
A lot of things people don't realize with Coop is like, bro, the dude was 17 at Duke. Who else was 17 at Duke that was able to do what he was doing?
No.
And people don't realize that, and people don't realize he classed up to go to Duke. So I just think if you give him about, I say 3 or 4 years, you're gonna see a different beast. You're gonna see someone that's like taking over the league. I think so. Just because when you get to the league that early and you get that chance to develop,
Yeah.
you know, from 18,
Yeah.
by the time he turns 23, he's gonna be a monster. And what a lot of people also don't realize too is that the league phases out, right? Like LeBron gonna retire, Paul
Yes.
George is gonna retire, the Steph, the KDs, they gone soon. So somebody else is gonna step into those roles as, you know, the people. Obviously, you still got the younger guys in between that, like Ant and Ja, and those guys who are supposed to be taking on the next, you know, reign. But you're gonna look up in a couple years, you're gonna see Coop right there with them. So
Wow.
yeah, I think he should easily be a 10-time All-Star. Easily.
Wow.
Easily.
Wow. If you had to put your all-time 5 together, center, power forward, small forward, 2 guard, point guard, right?
It's
What
easy.
would it be?
It's easy. Steph Curry.
At the guard?
Steph Curry at point guard. Michael Jordan.
Of course.
LeBron James.
Of course.
This is where it gets tricky. Kevin Garnett for me,
Okay.
and Shaq.
That's a nice squad. You think Shaq is the best center of all time?
Best? No. Most dominant? Yes.
Yes. I think the best center of all time is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I think so too.
Based on decoration and his accolades.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just,
It's undeniable.
yeah. I think the best power forward is Tim Duncan. You know, based on
Duncan.
decoration and accolades.
Yeah.
You know? So my next question is, who do you see being the next top 5 after these the KDs and all of them are going? Who gonna be that 5? No position, just who gonna be the face of the NBA, hands down.
I think first name that comes to mind is Anthony Edwards.
I see that.
Definitely. I say John Morant.
Okay. You gotta get it right though, right?
Yeah, he got a lot of cleaning up to do, but you know, I feel like once he gets it going, he's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Trying to think of some names.
Shea.
Shea. It's funny because people don't realize Shea's already been in a little while now. It's been 7 years almost.
Let me think of somebody. What do you think about Zion?
Man, Zion is tough, bro. It's like he can't get on the court. Like he's been injured so much, and it's really hard to gauge like, you know, where he's supposed to be or where he's going. A lot of things too I don't respect about Zion is like, as an analyst, right, or someone that watches the game, like, have you ever seen an athlete like Zion Williamson?
Never.
Never, right?
Machine.
A machine. So like, in that sense, how do you as a doctor, right, or his trainer, how do you approach someone with a body like that you've never seen that type
football
of body,
player.
right? Like, you never seen that type of body with someone with that force that could jump at that type of height or that moves with that type of agility at that weight and size. Like, so I give Zion so much grace, bro, because like him being injured is tough because it's like, it's hard. It's hard. And a lot of people don't realize is they think that, oh, he's in the NBA, he has all these resources, it's supposed to be easy. But in reality, man, it's hard. Like, he's a less than 0.1% of a player that moves like that and plays like that. So I think, like, I give him some grace, man.
I think his closest comparison is Charles Barkley. I think that's his closest. If I had to say someone, Charles Barkley maybe mixed with Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson, facts.
You know?
Little Sean
That's-
Kemp,
Yeah,
like, just
yeah.
athletic is crazy.
Super freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my next question is, who do you see right now, as far as when you've played so far, was the hardest for you to defend?
Bradley Beal. Crazy. He had a bad, you know, stretch in Phoenix, obviously. But, man, when I tell you, it's just like everything he did was just so precise. Like, when I ran into him and I was trying to guard him, like, his movements were so refined. Like, the way he stepped his feet, the way he ran was just like, it was like a movie. It was like he was just moving his body different. And you could just see the game was just easy to him. And he wasn't even trying. Like, but I guess when you get to that certain level, man, it just comes easy. But like for me personally, in my experience, like Bradley Beal was unreal, bro. Unreal.
Your career high, right? Who did you have your career high against?
The Sixers.
And you put up what?
Like 25?
Yeah. I got 25. Who was guarding you that night?
Kelly Oubre, Quentin Grimes. Yeah. Those was two of my main defenders at the time.
Someone told me that Quentin Grimes could be one of the greatest three-point shooters. You agree with that?
Nah, I don't think about. I feel like his game, like he has so much more to his game that it, like just classifying him as a three-point shooter would be kind of like taken away from what he could do.
Okay.
And you saw like at the end of last year, he was averaging 25, playing fully through his strengths, to his system.
Yes.
And he was flourishing, man. So I feel like just seeing him as a three-point shooter is like a disservice to his game because he got so much more to his package.
Who do you? What you about to say?
I was gonna say though, like, but you know, like the NBA is interesting because a lot of people believe that they can do everything, right? And sometimes that's how it's easy to get lost because, you know, you come from college and your college coach lets you, you know, dribble and shoot or shoot fadeaways and do all this stuff, and you get into the NBA and you playing with Kevin Durant and you got to run to the corner and just shoot threes, or you got to, you know, play defense. And I think sometimes for people it's hard to find that so easy.
Yeah.
Or just let go of that and say, all right, this is what I'm going to be good at. I'm going to master my role, and that's what I'm going to be. So
You know Speedy Claxton?
yeah, definitely.
He said he thinks the hardest job in the NBA is being a role player.
Literally.
Because you said the same statement. He said because you come from being the man to fit in the role of a team. I don't think it's not that you're not the man. It's just you have to do a role in order for the team to win.
Right.
So he was saying that he thinks that's the hardest job is to be a role player.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's like letting go of yourself. Like, you know, it's like humbling yourself. Like, what man wants to do that? I don't think no man wants to be like, all right, I know I'm capable of more, but right now maybe the best interest for the team, the best interest for my career is to take a step back. And that was something I had to learn too, is just like sometimes less is more. And sometimes people can't see that because you're so caught up in your human nature is like, I need, or I want. And many times it's just, you know, letting go to receive more, or, you know, giving to others and you get more. And that's what the NBA is, man. It's like, it's being a good teammate. It's doing the other things that aren't always gonna show up on the highlights or the stat sheet.
Yep.
That's how you stay in the league, bro. And that's why I've been fortunate enough to stay in the league, is honestly just my character, my consistency, and not wanting to say, okay, I'm gonna go outside of myself or what they asked me to do. Because, you know, that's how you end up out of there real fast.
It makes sense because I see some people that get so caught up in themselves, and realistically, we have to acknowledge that the NBA is a business.
Yeah, man.
So a lot of people that I think they can't see that aspect of it, they personalize everything. And I'm like, it's a business, right? You have to fit the character, like you said, of the business, because in order to represent the business, you got to represent your character of the business.
Right.
Right? What you want to say?
So we gotta dispel this myth on Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast.
Right.
So since you're in the NBA, you know how people be like, the worst player in the NBA is trash.
Yes,
He,
yes.
Son didn't even play varsity, and he think he could beat the worst player in the NBA. What do you think about that?
Absolutely not. Not even close. It's so crazy because, like, there's so many players that would kill even those guys that don't even make it to the NBA.
Yes.
There's probably thousands of dudes, and you could pick your best high school player in high school. There's thousands of dudes that will beat that kid that don't get a chance to make it to the NBA. And you go look overseas, I can name so many players that are better than some NBA players that don't even get a chance. So I would say, nah, man, definitely not.
It's funny because a lot of people do say that, Tyler. They say, oh, he on the bench in the NBA, and it's weird because we debate a lot and people talk about points. I'm like, points don't always represent. That has to be a level of green light where they're giving you can shoot. Because 1 year Dwight Howard averaged I think like 13. He only shot the ball 8 times. So 8 times 2 is what? 16. So technically he only qualified for 16 eligible points, but he averaged 13 that year. So he was like, well, how can I average 30 shooting the ball 8 times? But some people don't look into that aspect, So since I see your boy is hooping in New York, you played with him in Seton Hall, McBride?
Oh, McBride. Nah, he didn't go to Seton Hall.
Where you went again?
I think he went to West Virginia.
West Virginia?
Yeah.
West Virginia.
But yeah, he's been hooping in New York though. I know him too. I seen him yesterday actually at an event. Not sure if anybody heard of it, but it's called The Program.
Okay.
Where they're starting up like a facility, or a brand new facility in New York City, where a bunch of NBA guys are kind of investing and pouring back into the community.
I love it.
And it's like they hosting camps. So I went to a camp yesterday in the Hamptons, and I saw him there. But yeah, man, he's a cool dude, bro. Everyone in New York City is kind of right now just figuring out that it's time to have that philanthropy mindset and kind of give back to the things that brought them up and brought them out, So that's been cool to experience and have everybody that's a part of the community, even though, Deuce is not from New York, but he's embracing the New York culture. And
I love that.
Yeah,
I love
so
that. I love that. We embody him though. We appreciate him. I think he has that grit, that grime. He represents New York.
Definitely.
There's another guy, what's his name? My mind is shot right now. There's a guy right now that I'm. If you had to see who you mirror your game after right now, who would you think it is? You had to give me a comparison. I'm not saying twins, but close. Because you're definitely a 3-and-D.
Yeah.
I think you can shoot the 3. You're nice at the midi. You got to fade away. You can finish at the basket.
I don't know. Who you think?
You got a mixture because sometimes I watch you become a facilitator. I see Scotty, and then you could play defense. Then I see some nights where you be on your KD. You be on your shooting.
Right.
So I seen a multitude of different players in you.
Yeah.
It seems like to me you adjust, and you adjust based on what is needed for the team.
Yeah.
And that's what I've noticed with you. One thing I've noticed, you're not selfish. So that's one of the things I would have to say. I give you a Scotty too, because of the fact that you can go give me 30 tonight, but you can also give me 16 tonight, and contribute to us winning by rebounding, by doing dirty work.
Yeah.
And that's what I see. I see who you got. Devin Booker. I can see Book. Yeah. An unselfish Devin Booker.
I feel like that's my true calling. But like you said, the NBA is about adjusting. Sometimes you might see like, damn, who this dude? He came and had 20 tonight. Like, who is that? Next 3 nights, he might score 2 points.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That don't mean that the guy's not capable of doing that. It's just like that's what was needed that night.
Yes.
You might be playing the Bucks and they got no bigs. So then the backup big comes in and kills. Or he might play 10 extra minutes that night just because, you might be playing a team that don't got bigs or whatever the case is. Obviously, Milwaukee got bigs, but like you just never know. That's the thing about the NBA. It's so unexpected. You just don't know unless you, like I said, have a solidified role, one of those top players, KD, Devin Booker, then your role changes so much.
I got to ask this question because it's been all over social media. Is the NBA scripted?
Absolutely not.
I know it's not.
Absolutely not.
We know it's not. Everybody talk about it's scripted,
it's not
bro.
scripted, but
Absolutely not.
how has sports betting ruined the NBA?
Oh, shoot. Yeah. I think it's terrible for the game, honestly. Yeah. I think just because now, like, from a fan perspective, right? I feel like now people aren't enjoying the true art of the game and what they're seeing, and the people that like Michael Jordan came down methodically and brought the Bulls back from. Now it's just like, oh man, I damn, Mike, you let me down. My parlay ain't hit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, there's no like genuineness of like what they're seeing because the people on the outside are overly invested from a financial standpoint. So it's like it's almost like they see us like as a zoo, like they like horse betting. It's like it feels like they, you know what I'm saying, just seeing us as props. So in that case, it's like for me, it's just like taken away from the game, definitely.
You know, one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this interview because I want people to see that even though you can hoop your behind off, you in the league, right? You're a great ball player. I want them to see that you're human.
Yeah,
you
man.
know, I remember during COVID, I think it's Karl Anthony Towns, his mother passed away.
Yeah.
And it's so sad that they didn't care about his mom passing away. They cared about him getting back on the court and producing.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the fans. And it bothered me because it was like, it's kind of inhumane. I'm like, you're not even worried about anything other than him being able to score and put in buckets. Because we got to admit, bro, me losing my mom's, I doubt I would have this same level of capacity of functioning right now to losing my mom. You know? And then on top of it, there was a quote unquote virus out there. No one knows what it is.
What it is.
So it's like we talking logical, bro. Like it was a lot going on. So, you know, I feel like more people need to learn how to be a little bit more empathetic to players. Like you said with the parlays, and he missed the parlay by a rebound. I don't think he went out thinking about your parlay. You know?
Bro, we be laughing about that stuff in the locker room. Like, I wish y'all, we be looking at y'all DMs and all that. We be laughing like, bro, I wish y'all really knew how much we didn't care about it. But it is like I said, it's one of those things like where you just become numb to it, right? Like you get put on a pedestal and you have to have a certain persona, a certain perception of who you are, of how you're acting, how you carry yourself, right? Like with coming along with being in an organization, representing the NBA,
Yes.
all of those things. So what happens is like, you know, like anything you do, after a couple years of doing it, it just becomes easy.
Yes.
So it's easy to block the noise out. When we go out and you run out for the tunnel and you go into the game and you see thousands of people, I'm at a point now where I don't even see the people. Like I couldn't, if I went out to a game and I played a game, I couldn't tell you one face that was at the game.
Yeah.
Right. So you become numb just as much as they become numb to you and just seeing you as whatever, an item on the court. I just see them as, you know, people in the stands. And it's easy to block out the noise after a while, and it's like you get used to it, you know. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was gonna say, have you ever dealt with like a heckler? Like, yo, Jared, you didn't get my under for the night. I'm mad at you.
People talk to you during the game the whole time. People be like, man, I'm about to play this right now, live. I'm about to play this. Yo, bro, you got 2 threes for me? Like, yo, like, bro, I'm just trying to hoop, bro. Like, so it be the people who standing courtside nowadays, which is even crazier, like putting up crazy, you know, tickets. So it's a whole thing, man. Now,
What is it? What is the craziest arena you ever played in?
craziest arena.
Have you played in every arena so far?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I think the craziest arena actually is Oklahoma City.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. I would say between Oklahoma City and Toronto. Yeah.
And fans go hard.
Hard. Just because Toronto won, I'll go with them first because, you know, their representation is a whole country.
Yes.
Right? Like they have the whole
Yes.
Canada behind them, whereas, you know, most cities is just that city and the people. But I'm talking like, when you talk to the fans in Toronto, like some of them are like, man, I planned this trip. I'm from Alberta. I planned this trip 3-4 months ago to fly into Toronto and come watch the game. So it's not one game where it's not, you know, the whole stands is packed out.
Wow.
But then OKC is like, it's a small market, but there's not much to do in Oklahoma. So, you know, those people coming off of work, they go into that game every night. And they passionate because they don't got much else going on in Oklahoma. So it's like basketball, they go home and that's it. So that gym is crazy. And those people are screaming the whole time. But it's a really nice gym, man. Oklahoma is probably one of the loudest.
A young Jared, what college did he envision himself going to initially? I gotta ask it.
Always wanted to go to Duke.
Duke?
Always wanted to go to Duke as a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, I was always like big Grant Hill fan, all those guys, and then obviously, you know, life hits. You realize, you know, you got to take your own lane and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, Duke was my dream school, bro.
Wow. My next question is, have you ever met a player so far that gave no Diddy, that gave you like butterflies, like starstruck, like oh my God, like yo, because I met one player, I ain't gonna front, it got me a little bit. One person, Hove. I was like whoa. I was like this, yo, that's Hove right there.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm a big fan of 50 Cent too.
You know what's crazy? I think Shaq.
Okay.
Yo, when I met Shaq, it was like different. Just like how he was operating around the room, how he was just moving around. Like you could just tell everything was thought through. You know, like he wasn't moving just like he was overseeing everything that was going around as opposed to being and experiencing it, right?
Yeah.
And it's two different mindsets when you like have that perspective, when you a billionaire, when you done, you know, have influence, and you could just see like it's almost like things were moving in slow motion for him, and he was just like just flowing differently than everybody else was. So yeah, he just a real player right there for sure.
But it's amazing how Shaquille O'Neal embraced, Blackway from the town.
Oh yeah,
You know, Blackway, they got a track together, to be honest with you.
definitely, yeah.
You know, that's amazing that it's just, the world is 6 degrees of separation, which is crazy. But I gotta ask a question. I'm gonna put you in a situation right now. You're the third player. You got Dwayne Wade, you got LeBron James. They try to recruit you for a chip. To go run after chips, do you A, chase the financial security, or do you B, go get them chips? And say this is your last contract too.
Crazy. I be seeing this all over on like social media. Honestly, I think it depends.
Okay,
I think it really depends. I think it depends like how much money I've made in my career,
that makes sense.
and it depends what you value as a person. I think for me, someone that's being in the NBA now and seeing it and experiencing it, championship is cool and all, but I can't. Well, I can't. I'm not gonna. People aren't even gonna remember that I'm a champion in 10, 20 years from now. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if I get some more money for my family to provide for the people I love, and to have generational wealth, if it's between generational wealth and a championship, I'm choosing generational wealth for my family always. So like I said, I think it depends. Like if I'm a guy like one of those guys, Dwayne Wade or Chris Bosh and LeBron,
You could afford to take that.
you can afford to take a. You can afford to, and I feel like that should be more of your focus. Is like, all right, let me go win some chips, right?
Yeah.
But if you're just someone that's trying to make as much money as you can, then I would say, man, get that bag, bro, and solidify that for your family, because it's bigger than basketball, like right, like people don't realize you're getting blessed an opportunity to support your family through playing basketball.
Yes.
And if you can optimize that opportunity, I would say do that every time.
It's funny because there's a kid that played for the Knicks. You remember Chris Copeland?
Yeah.
And he was a fan favorite. Like we
Right.
loved him.
Yeah.
But he chose the money in Indiana, and I couldn't blame him. Plus, he got in the league very old. He got in the league, I think he was like 28.
Yeah.
He was older, so he wasn't young. So he had to chase the money.
Right.
And I was like, I can't blame him, bro. Knicks fans was tight. I'm like, you personalizing it. You know, he has to, you understand it's a business. You know? So my next question is, matter of fact, let's make it even better. You could finish your career with $100 million, no championships. No. $100 million with championships, or $50 million with 2 championships. 50 mil,
You said 100 million with
100
one
million?
champion?
None.
None. With none.
No championships.
100 mil.
I'll make it even better. 50 mil, 2 championships, 7 All-Stars.
100 mil.
100 mil? Yeah.
So since you're saying that, do more players in NBA care about the chips or the money? Like what's the mindset on that?
That's a great question. Like I said, I think it depends, right? Like there's a small percentage of people that are in the NBA where like money is completely gone out of their mind, right? And that's like the max players.
They're set for life.
Like where they're just like, all right, you made 150 million plus, you're not caring about anything, right? But you see even the guys who's making 60, 70, there's 50, they're still like it's crazy, right? Because I've been around guys that make so much money, right? Like 60 million seems like so much money. But when you're living the lifestyle that these guys live, it's not a lot of money. Because when you got to buy that house, when you got to buy this, and you got to buy this, and you got to live this certain perception of lifestyle or
Lifestyle.
actually live it through, it's not as much as it seems. So I would say like a lot more people would choose the money than you think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because you need that to keep up with whatever you already have, right? Like more money, more problems. Like people go through a lot of stuff in the NBA, and you have a lot of like obligations, right? Taking care of multiple people, and honestly, that's what it comes down to. Is like, you know, how much influence can you have with your money that you do have? Like, are you actually helping other people, or can you actually do stuff? The championships, I can't help nobody with that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't take the championships nowhere and give this to the hood or give it back to the people I love. I can bring it and say, hey, look at this shiny thing. But I feel like that's also what's wrong with today, is that we're so idolized by like material or things, or even just NBA, like just the idea of the NBA. Like, it's a great thing, but sometimes you get caught up in it. Like, what is a championship? Like, you worked hard, you grinded, and you made it, and you did it, but I ain't gonna pay your bills.
Yeah. you know something? I watched the interview today. You know, Jeff Teague. I think it was a guy by the name of Wilkins. He was a vet. He told him, every day you don't come to the gym, he said, I'm charging you $500. And he said Jeff didn't believe him. He said that when Jeff went to get paid, he got his check for $500 a couple times for every time he didn't show up. And then he said that he's telling him that you have to be prepared for when your opportunity comes. Then he said that Kurt Heinrich got hurt in the playoffs, and then Jeff Teague said he got his first chance to get some minutes, and he said he dogged because after that he got garnished a few times. It made him practice, and he got focused because he didn't want to lose no more money. Because remember, he's on a low contract.
Yeah.
So he was like, yo, I had to get focused. And he said then he got his opportunity, and he said he was cooking. Yeah. So like, what like, let's just say hypothetically you're sitting there, no minutes, all game. What do you say to yourself now? Like, how do you stay driven to say, you know what, no matter what, I got to stay prepared, I got to stay at it?
I ain't gonna lie to you, you just hit that one deep. Because I done been in that situation so many times. I'll tell you, like, I done been in a situation some more times where I didn't play the whole game. I wasn't in the rotation, right? I warmed up 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah.
Right, maybe at halftime I got a couple shots, but I was warm 2.5 hours ago. It's a blowout, right? Your team could be up 30 or down 30 or something like that. Coach goes, all right, sub in the game. And it's 5 minutes left. And in those 5 minutes, that's your career right there. You're not stretched, you're not warm, you nothing. You hopping in the game, they subbing you, they taking out LeBron, whatever the starters, the main guys.
Yeah.
And you going in the game at the end and you gotta go scratch and claw for your career. And it's real, like, cause then when that 5 minutes, that's the film you watching when you go home. Like, you're gonna go to your coach next day and you're gonna watch that 5 minutes of film that you was playing in that game. So I just think, like, for me, like, I would take those 5 minutes and I'm like watching every detail of those 5 minutes that I have in that game. And I'm monitoring, I'm looking at my body language. I'm looking at the way my foot was moving. I'm looking at what time I subbed in the game, what I could have done better. Like, and just all those little things, even if it's 5 minutes or if I'm in the game for 30 minutes, it's just, like you said, being prepared. But obviously sometimes it's unmotivating when you don't always, reap the reward of your work. But I think it's believing in yourself, bro. Yes. Believing in your ability. And for me, it's about the process, not the outcome. So for me, it's like I'm on an everyday progression. The outcome could change, right? Like, I could play well, or I could play like shit.
Yeah.
And I could say to myself, damn, did I still do the things that I do on my daily? Yeah. That I have my habits that are required every day for me to go up and perform? Yeah. And if I did that consistently every day, then I can't be mad with the outcome, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't get moved by the outcome. If I score 30, I'm still in the gym the next day. If I don't play, I'm still in the gym the next day. So none of that stuff changes, you know, how I work. You know, if I have 30, I'm still gonna shoot the same amount of shots the next day when I go to practice.
Yes.
It don't matter. So that's what it is for me, and that's how you grow, no matter what, you know, through the ups and downs.
You know something weird? You know Aaron Rodgers wasn't a starter. He came in the NBA and played in the NFL behind a quarterback.
Wow.
And then became a starter. You know that Patrick Mahomes wasn't a starter. He wasn't a starter.
I didn't even know that.
No. Tom Brady went the end, 7th round. You know, but again, like a lot of times, people have to understand, like when it comes to professional sports, it's about, do you fit the system of what they're doing?
Yeah.
You know, some people personalize it. I talk to a lot of professional athletes, and they all say, Q, this coach just don't like my game. It's not that I'm not good. That's why you can see a player who could average 4 on this team and 16 on this team.
Yeah.
Because he's giving them the opportunities to do so, right?
Yep.
So that's why I understand what he's saying as far as the networking aspect, proving your ability to these coaches, right? Falling in favor with them, because again, their job is on the line also.
Yeah.
So if their job is on the line, they got to make sure that they're making calculated decisions that's going to keep them getting their checks too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a trickle-down effect.
It is,
You know what I'm
bro. It really is.
What you guys say?
So if you have two players, you got one who's really good, but he has terrible body language, bad attitude, versus a player he's decent, but he has great like leadership skills, great body language, good attitude. In the NBA, which one do you think the coach prefers? Like, do they look into the body language and the bad attitude? Because we're at that point, it's like we're adults. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's not like high school where you have to shut up and we're adults. So how does that play a part in NBA?
I'll give you two things. One, there's an expectation that everybody does that when you get in the NBA.
Okay.
There's an expectation that everyone's supposed to have good body language. Everyone's supposed to be a good person. Everyone's supposed to be a certain way, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't have made it that far to begin with. But on the second side of that, I would say it depends who you are, right? And how good you are, right? Like, if it's John Moran and Kevin Durant, they have way more leeway, right? They can not run back on defense one time and still go and play 35 minutes every game. You know what I mean? Or they could be late to the plane, right? If I'm late to the plane in my position, coach gonna be on my ass. I might not get in next game because I was late.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a whole thing of like, you know, you have to understand where you are, what's around you, and what's best for you and what you need to do, right? And sometimes I done been around some of my peers who are in, you know, similar level of contract, similar level of position. They don't understand that, right? So they think, man, they could stay out all night, be late to the bus, or, you know, miss film, or be late here and do this and do that, and then they're jeopardizing their career because of it. So it really depends on, you know, your status, your position. But like I said too, you know, there also is just a baseline, right, where you just don't cross. And like you said, like Q even mentioned it, but when you late, you get fined automatically. The coach not gonna call you in the office and say, hey, Jared, you know, like, man, you've been keep showing up late.
Yeah.
When you get your check, it's just money gonna be gone. And then he's not gonna come to you, have a conversation like when you're in high school, like, oh man, you need to be better.
Yeah.
You need to do this. You just a grown man. You go home, you go to your kids, you come back, next day you're not playing. And then coach not gonna say nothing to you. GM not gonna say nothing to you. You just gonna have to have your agent communicate and figure it out. But, you know, it's like, you just gotta just be locked in all the time, bro. And that's really what it is.
Listen, I love that, because when you really evaluate it, like I love the fact that we're having this conversation to show people more so the business aspect of it, because everyone thinks it's just run up the court, score. If you're the best, you get on the court. I'm like, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily true, right? I got to interview Hall of Famer Eddie George. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
So I got to interview him, and also Devin Hester. Devin actually got sat one whole year because he got into it with a coach. After having a dog season. I think it was his sophomore year.
Wow.
His freshman year. Yeah, in college. His freshman year, dogged. Then he got sat his sophomore year because he got into it with a coach. You know what I'm saying? And then sure enough, junior year, he came back and dogged and ended up going pro.
Wow.
But again, it delayed his progress because sometimes, you know, we have to make sure that we maintain ourselves and the things that we can control.
Absolutely.
Right? And being accountable in the same thing. You know, what is your craziest NBA story? I know you got something.
Ooh, gotta make it appropriate. Shoot. Craziest NBA story. Dang, man, there's so much.
Something that stand up to you that's like crazy. Like, this is crazy. I'll tell you something I seen funny the other day. When I saw the whole, I think it was the Minnesota Vikings, and they were like, who you wouldn't want to date your sister?
Oh,
and the
wow.
whole team said Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I seen it.
The whole team was like, Diggs. That's crazy.
I'm trying to think, bro.
A great moment for you.
Great moment. Honestly, one of the craziest moments for me was like, it was one game last year, 2 years ago now, where I didn't think I was gonna get in the game, and I ended up getting in the game, and I ended up playing really well at the end of the game, and I was playing against the Bulls, and it was at the time the Rhoden was still on the Bulls. And like, I'm checking in. This is 3 years ago now, actually. That was my rookie year, like one of the last games of my rookie year.
You was nervous?
Playing the Bulls, I'm nervous as hell. Barely played in the NBA at the time like that. And I check in, I start cooking, start playing mad well. And I'm playing against DeRozan, who was someone like I really used to idolize growing up. And, you know, I get there and now I'm on the free throw line and he's right next to me and I'm like, hey, bro, I can't even lie. Like, I gotta give you your flowers, bro. Like, and like, it was one of those moments where like, I've never been the type of guy that got like starstruck or felt like, yo, this dude is crazy. But for me, like, I used to watch mad DeRozan highlights, mad stuff about him. I just knew him so much, I couldn't help it. And it was like one of those like, I had like an outer body experience. Like, I just started talking to him. I'm like, yo, bro, you have no idea. I felt like a little kid again. I'm like, you have no idea, bro, like how much you did for me. Blah, blah, blah. And this is all, I'm ranting. All in the matter of like 20 seconds while they shooting free throws. And then next thing you know, he subs out the game. And I just keep playing. After the game, he ends up coming up to me and giving me one of his signed jerseys.
Wow.
And he just like signed it, said like, yo, stay in touch, bro. Like, I appreciate it, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
And just like showed mad love. And I was just like, wow, like for a moment that was for me where like, you know, I met one of my idols.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was cool like for me also just to see how real he was about it. Like he didn't have to go into the back and get a jersey and sign it for me.
Yeah.
I never even asked him for that. I was just telling him like, yo, bro, I look up to you, blah, blah, blah. Like, and yo, that was like a moment for me when I was just like, yo, like this is real. Like, I could do this. Like, this is fire. Like, there's some cool people that, like, you know, some of the people that I did see growing up are real. You know what I'm saying?
You know that's actually a dope story because that's like he wouldn't have the notoriety too without the support. I mean, he's a great ball player no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
But also it's about character too.
Facts.
So you know you see people that are likable like that. It says that they got great character too.
Definitely.
You know. So my next question is, if you could play out your career to the T, how would it sound? If you could write your story right now, how would it sound?
It would be me playing minimum another 6 years in the NBA. Like my goal is to get to 10 years.
Pension.
Yeah, get the pension, stay in the league for 10 years, and bro, whatever happens after that, God willing, I don't care, bro. That's my goal. Is like, bro, if I could play 10 years in the league, just have that experience for myself, like that's all I would be good enough for me. Yeah, bro, and then just living the rest of my life. Honestly, there's so much more to life I learned from. I had to learn it from basketball. That there's so many other things that are important. Just because like basketball was always just moving around, so much ups and downs, and I just had to learn like there's so much other things that I could love or experience or learn from too, other than just basketball. So
I'm gonna ask one more question. What you see the DeMar DeRozan story. A lot of people says when you meet people, you realize that you don't like everybody. Have you ever met a player that you just like, I don't like this guy?
Yeah.
If you don't want to say his name, you don't have to.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say it.
Alright.
But yeah, it's definitely some dudes in the league that are having crazy egos. Yeah, some dudes are, and that's why I've been fortunate enough to have interactions with real people that I feel like I can relate to. Other than there's some people who just have crazy egos. Some people who just don't do simple things like manners. They think because they have money and status, they don't gotta say thank you to the guy that puts their jersey out there every day. And it's just be small stuff like that where you just learn character about people. You see how they operate, their exchange of energy. And yeah, there's a lot of great people, but there's also a lot of fucked up people too in the league too. So,
but see, like I've known you for years, so it's like a lot of times, some of those guys probably, if you take away basketball, they don't have anything. If you take away basketball, you've always had a good circle of people that just genuinely love you.
Yeah.
Like I'm giving my boy his flowers over here, Cardo. My boy speaks so highly of you as a friend.
100%.
And I love that about him, and I love that for y'all. Z, they always speak highly of you, and I love that about him because I'm gonna be honest with you, watching you grow up and become the man you are today, it's amazing because I knew you had gifts. But he sold me your dream before anybody else.
Right.
Like Cardo sold me the dream.
Yo, for
like
real.
Cardo was like, my boy going today. He going today. And I'm like, you think so? You're like, yes. But I already knew the skills was there.
Yeah.
And I got to see you play in high school a few times. So I was like, yo, he's actually really good. And then you started sprouting up too. And I was like, yo, because there was one summer, you just got tall as hell.
Nah, yeah.
You got mad tall. And I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's been a long journey, bro. And, like, having my friends like Ricardo and Z and, all the people that have been, a part of my journey, like, that's the only reason why I'm able to be where I am, man, is because, like I touched on when I first started, is just like, those people saw it before I did, like you said. And sometimes when you're just going through the motions of your life and you living and you're going, it's hard for you to see where you are or even where you are going.
Yes.
And you don't give yourself enough credit sometimes.
Yes.
I'm so focused, I'm working, I'm grinding. And you don't realize the impact you're having on the other people around you or the accomplishments you are accomplishing.
Yes.
So when you have real people that see that and they pull you down and say, yo, look, like, you good? Everything good with you?
Yes.
Checking in on you or telling you, bro, you could do that shit.
Yeah.
You know you built for that or you're good enough.
Yeah.
That's what life is about for me, bro, it's the real connections, the real relationships and how you transcend that into more and bigger things and better things. So that's why, like, for me, like, I've always kept Rick close to me and have him a part of everything I do. And he continues to just pour that back into me. And that's what it is. Like, I'm going to fill your cup when it's empty. You fill mine when it's empty.
I love that.
And that's just what we do.
You see, like, one thing I have to say is, you see the Ball family? I love how they are. But there's another family that I personally got to know a little. And one of the brothers I'm really close with. The Harris family? Tobias?
Oh, I don't know them personally.
You gotta know them.
Yeah. I've kind of ran past with them here and there.
Yeah, because what they're doing, like Terry, Tobias, they're heavy into real estate now.
I saw something about that.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. And like I've known Terry before he got into real estate, and we would chop it up a lot. And it's amazing how his vision is coming through and how he's putting all his family in position.
Yeah.
I think it's so dope.
Yeah.
I think it's so dope what they're doing. And I just want to
really
acknowledge
cool.
that, especially being from Long Island.
Yeah.
And you also, what's the name, played in Long Island too? Edgecombe.
Yeah, VJ
Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah, VJ Edgecombe for the Philly.
Yeah.
So, dealing with the NBA, you going through the motions, the lifestyle and everything. What are some things that you do like off the court to help your mental mental health? Because I already know like it's probably a lot. You got a lot of responsibilities, money coming in, take care of family, you know, friends, stuff like that. So how do you like help yourself mentally off the court?
Number one thing is God. Prayer. I think that's the biggest thing for me is, you know, I read my Bible, I pray, and I think the biggest thing for me too is that I like to read, bro. I read a lot of books. Like that's what I spend a lot of my time doing when I have moments to myself. Is I read and I just absorb as much knowledge as I can get. Because that's honestly what life is about. It's about seeking truth, finding knowledge, and, you know, sharing that with the people around you, whether it's through small interactions, big interactions, business moves, anything. So for me, it's about absorbing as much knowledge as I can. And sometimes knowledge is through a book, or sometimes it's just through my own spirit. So I think a lot of things I do is meditation, like just being in tune with myself, whether it's, you know, sitting down, closing my eyes, or whether it's just breathing. I think it's so crazy. Like one of the things that I felt like I'm not mastered, but like I've really discovered was my breath. And how important it was just to be present. And when you actually breathe, you're actually thinking consciously to be present in the moment. And I used to have heavy anxiety, just thinking about playing, anticipation. Oh, the night before the game, I can't sleep. I can't do this. You know, I got this business move going on. I got my family problems. I got all this stuff going on. And the one thing I had to do was just slow down and catch my breath and breathe and analyze what I'm going to do next, right? Because I felt like when I was so out of tact with myself, I would be making impulsive decisions. I would be doing things that would be jeopardizing other things. So, like, I always just take a moment, take deep breaths, you know, meditate, and just let things flow from there.
I love that. I love that. So I know you got a charity event coming up.
Absolutely.
Let's get into that a little bit.
Yes, sir. So yeah, I'm doing a special give back. It's like a back to school give back. It's for like young kids, elementary school and middle school, high school kids. To come, we got some good sponsors like Beats by Dre. We got Adidas. We got Verizon vendoring for us. So they're just gonna be giving out a bunch of school backpacks, school supplies. We'll be giving out gift cards, raffling off a bunch of stuff. It'll be held at the rec center, the Freeport Rec Center, on August 31st. So that's next Sunday. I'm not sure when we're going out with this, but so it'll be a really cool event.
We'll drop this Friday.
Yeah, so
make sure I shout this out, this piece.
We'll have a ice cream truck, a bunch of stuff going on for the kids, and it's just a moment of reflection. Just because, like, I remember when I was a kid, like I said, people were always showing me, picking me up, and giving me just that visual sight just to see, like, man, there's a kid where I'm from that played in the NBA or that's doing something special. So I think now it's my time to inspire, to give back, and that's what it's about.
Listen, there's a very, very, very small percentage of people that get to that next level. And you to even say you've seen an NBA floor, you already won.
Yeah.
You already won, you know. And to be able to actually say you put up 25 in a professional game, it's like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. But I just want to give you your flowers today, man. As a guy that loves my town, you know, I love where we from.
Absolutely, bro.
I love the town. And I just want you to listen, bro. You've done it. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people come through that school, and they had the hoop dreams, and a lot of them had talent.
Yeah.
But to actually persevere, stick it through, and get there, I give you your flowers, man.
I appreciate that so much, bro. And honestly, Q, you have no idea, bro. Like, bro, you really a legend, bro.
Appreciate it.
And because, like, for me, it's like I always had a lane, right? Like I always was playing basketball, and I found my lane, and then from that lane, I was able to open up and exercise all those things outside of it, right?
Yeah.
But for you, it's just like, what's inspiring is the fact that, you know, you was always figuring it out, right? Like you was always finding different things. You was multi-talented.
Appreciate it.
You had so many different like qualities about you that you were able to try different things. And then you were able to actually translate that into something special.
Appreciate it.
And you know, having the businesses, having the real estate, having your podcast now, having all this big influence, I think is great, bro. Especially because where we from, bro, is it's nobody like that. So you've always been that voice of engine in the town, bro, that allows us to continue to keep going and doing those things. And yeah, bro, you're really like a big brother and a mentor that I'm very grateful for, bro.
Appreciate that. Listen, yeah, I don't know. That's what I do it for. If you know me, it's funny because before we started the podcast today, guys, he said, "You've been talking like that."
Literally, yo. It's funny. Like, I used to be 10 years old going into your barbershop, bro, and I'm like, why am I learning about this right now? And I'm like, yo, it's Q. It's just Q. Like, Q just teaching people stuff, like showing people different perspectives and different mindsets. And just as a 10, 11-year-old kid, is like, that stuff is like, yeah, he talking about stocks and investments. Bro, it's really been a blessing, bro, to be a part of your journey, to continue to grow together. And yeah, man.
But I want to say this. I'm grateful that I played a part in your life, a major part, and now you're playing a major part in my life right now, because this podcast is going to inspire so many people, and a lot of people are going to look at it like, damn, like I can do that. You know, and I love the conversation we had today, because it reflects on your growth. It shows who you are as a man. And the one thing I will say that I've learned even more about you today that I already knew, you're very grounded. Very, very grounded. You're soaring, but you're still grounded, meaning you know who you are. And I love that about you.
I love that about you. Definitely.
You know, and one thing I know, your sister's one of your biggest supporters.
Oh my gosh. Man, my sister, and I owe her so much too. Just like, she didn't understand the business too. Actually, my sister's my manager.
Wow.
So she's been helping me coordinate everything in my career. And she's just been that piece for me of the business side that I always haven't been able to see and do.
Yes.
And she's been keeping me intact with all that stuff, which has been a blessing. So especially to have someone within the family that I can trust genuinely, that's been great. So shout out to Marissa, man.
Listen, give it up for her.
Real quick, can you just speak on the business aspect of having somebody you trust to be your manager? Like, can you speak on that? Like how?
Yeah, it's definitely a task. Because one of the biggest things you learn in the NBA just through other people's experiences is that, I've seen a lot of people have close friends, best friends, parents that have taken advantage of them.
Of course.
You know, financially or just in general. So I think the biggest thing is trusting your intuition, but being honest with your intuition. And a lot of people aren't honest. And it's honestly separating business from pleasure. And sometimes people get caught up in, I have to do this for this person because they're my family.
They're my family.
Or, I owe them this because. Or, I'm going to give you a job because. And in reality, they may not be actually qualified for that job.
100%.
So I think it's seeking out what's best needed for you. And for me personally, like with my sister, she understands me more than anybody else could. She understands what I want, what I like to do. And me and my sister, when we talk regularly on the phone, and we have meetings where things are separated from, hey, how's it going with your boyfriend? As opposed to, hey, what's our next move with this business move? So that's the biggest thing, is having that separation from business and pleasure, especially with the people you love. And it's hard. And I'm not saying I've mastered it either. It's something that's still very difficult, but something that you got to sort through and figure it out.
I love it. Listen, when a person has a strong foundation, and your father, your mother, you have a very strong family, and they've been impactful in this community for a long time. And trust me, you come from great stock, bro. You come from great stock.
Appreciate it, bro.
Listen, it's what it is. You come from great stock. But you want to tell anybody where they can keep up with you? Anything you want to say before we get out of here also?
One thing I want to touch on, so something that's been a part of my journey that I do outside of basketball has been my dad's business. My dad runs a distribution company where he sells, beverages to, places all across the city, all across Long Island. And it's been something I've been working really diligently on. And we're trying to expand as big as we can. So it's a bottled beverage with cane sugar. We have like 4 different flavors right now. And it's something that we're just like really trying to push and grow, and something that I've learned resiliency through the business. Over the past 20 years, I've been, helping my dad out, whether it was when I was real young carrying boxes to now, actually being his business partner, owning equity in the business. Just purchased a new warehouse last summer. Appreciate it. And we're just trying to expand and grow, man. So that's something that I definitely want to do.
Tell them what the company is.
The company's name is Spursed Beverages. So it should be really, you got to look out for us.
Should have been had a sponsor already. I'm just saying, I should have been had a sponsor already. But we'll talk about that off camera.
We'll talk.
But guys, this guy is a legend in my neighborhood. Amazing. And you see what we produce. And I say we produce because it takes a village, right? And you see the man, they helped me produce and become. All my young guys, they actually helped me become the man I am today. And I just want you to know, man, I appreciate you so much, my guy.
I appreciate you.
Come on, man.
I love, bro.
Listen, tell them your Instagram, your social media handles.
So my Instagram is Fortune J with 2 A's. And my Twitter is ihoop_J with 2 A's.
Go follow him right now. Show the love.
Yes,
Go follow him right now. Show the love. Until next time, guys. Don't let that go over your head.